Hello guys, hello viewers. Welcome back to my channel. Today is the 26th of August 2024. For those who are new here, I'm Messiah. And in this channel, I speak only mysteries and deep revelations from God and to enlighten Christians on how to fight spiritual warfare and to know spiritual things. Today I will speak about corpse, like a dead person. If you are a spiritual person and you're under warfare, don't touch dead bodies. Even if your relative dies, do not touch the dead body of that relative. I'll share a story. There was one man that died in where I live in our quarter, and it wasn't certain that he was dead, but he was already dead. So I was called to go and check that guy because he had sink inside one pit, the toilet. And when we got there, we tried to retrieve this man, but he was already dead because he had already drowned. So after that incident, I came home. I felt cold. My body cold. I died inside. My body died inside. It died. And for a long time, I had not had spiritual attacks because I'm in covenant with God. I'm playing my part very well. But guess what? That night, I had serious attacks. I saw a dog, one big male dog, and that man was a man, a male. 12 midnight, you can imagine. The vision was so scary. I woke up. I had to pray outside of my house. Then I remember that you cannot touch dead bodies. It will make you spiritually unclean. And I'll prove it. You know, Christians, we neglect the Old Testament. We think God has changed. God has not changed. And Christ came to finish the Bible. He didn't come to do away with the Old Testament. In these last days, revelations will be coming from the Old Testament and with preceding revelations from God for this new age. So I'll read Numbers, up here a book I'm reading. This is Good News Bible, Numbers chapter 19, verse 11. Contact with a corpse. Whoever touches a corpse is spiritually unclean for 7 days. Verse 12. He must purify himself with the water of purification on the 3rd day and on the 7th day, and then he will be clean. But if he does not purify himself on both the 3rd and the 7th day, he will not be clean. Whoever touches a corpse and does not purify himself remains unclean, because the water of purification has not been thrown over him. He defies the Lord's tent, and he will no longer be considered one of God's people. Verse 14. If someone dies in a tent, anyone who is in that tent at the time of death or who enters it becomes spiritually unclean for 7 days. You can imagine. Just being in a house with a dead person makes you unclean. It doesn't matter if you never knew. If somebody died in the house, you make you unclean. So what happened? I had to take a spiritual bath with salt for 3 days. Look, you may think these things are just like coincidence. It doesn't matter. Look, these are spiritual things. It matters. Do not touch dead bodies. If you cannot help it, like it's a family relatives and a relative, and it will feel weird that you don't touch the dead body. Touch it, then make sure you purify yourself. Also, Christians make this mistake. You go to a grave, you go to a graveyard, and you want the spirit of your pastor or some, or you cry in a graveyard or in a grave. Let's say your grandmother's grave or your family relatives' graves. You are contacting demons. You are opening yourself up to devilish encounters. It's crazy for you to go to the grave for some kind of spiritual, like, I hear of people saying they go to Kachin Kuma's grave to encounter her spirits, or they go to one man of God that was renounced to encounter his spirits. You are mad. You are crazy. You are going to encounter demons because those people are not in the grave. They are up high in the heavens. We have no business to do with the dead. The living has no business to do with the dead. Once you do this, the Holy Spirit leaves you until you clean yourself, you purify yourself. Please avoid the grave. For people who are very spiritual and who are under high spiritual warfare, you may not know why you have attacks. Also, when you go to death to a death ceremony, do not eat their food. Don't eat the food. Don't eat the food. What happens is, the dead person that died, they feast on the food before humans eat the food. So if you go and eat the food from that death ceremony, it means you defy it will defy you, but you will not know. You may not know, but you have attacks, and you open doors. The Bible is not foolish to say, do not purify yourself, or do not touch this corpse or have anything to do with the dead. They are not foolish. Let me read verse 15. Every jar and pot in the tent that has no lid on it also becomes unclean, right? For a dead person in the house. So if your butter is old pot has no lid, it's not unclean. You have to purify it. If someone touches a person who has been killed or has died a natural death out of doors, or if someone touches a human bone or a grave, he becomes unclean for 7 days. Or a grave. So even touching a grave, you become unclean. You become unclean. Okay. Verse 17. To remove the uncleanness, some ashes from the red cow which was burnt to remove sin shall be taken and put in the pot and fresh. Okay, this is the cow that was born for purification. You can read in the previous verses, but you just see that I'm just bringing out some points. You can read the entire chapter 19, and you see that do not touch the dead, because it's a sign of spiritual warfare. It's a sign of spiritual warfare. Okay, so you just read out through. I don't want this video to be so long, so I hope you get the message. Avoid the grave. You contact evil spirits from there. Okay, I love you all, and don't be emotional. Don't be emotional. Christians are often emotional, and that's what makes them weak or don't go spiritually high in the realms. You're so emotional. Get out of your emotions. You understand spiritual things. I love you all. Stay blessed. Stay safe.